If you've ever installed a wood stove in your home, you understand that you have to have a non-combustible surface behind that stove. Now you also have to have that behind the pipe that goes all the way up and out of your house, and you have to have a 1-inch air gap behind that non-combustible surface. So today I want to show you how we actually did that in this home using metal studs and some resilient channel in order to make sure that we met code and how we provided a safe solution for this installation. All right, so what we have going on in this house is we got a wood stove going in. This is on the 2nd floor. And if you look above me, there is a pipe right up here. It's a single wall pipe that runs out the top. This is about 2 feet from the wall here at this point right now. So when I get this pipe over closer than 18 inches, I now have to have a non-combustible surface with a 1-inch air gap behind it. Now the goal here is to get this over as close as possible, so it's going to get some type of 45 on here that will adjust. It'll come down and go straight down into the top of this stove. So we don't have that exact dimension yet, but we know we're going to be less than 18 inches, so we have to have a non-combustible surface and then an air gap behind it. What we didn't want to do is we didn't want to put thin brick all the way up to the ceiling. So the solution here is we got to get a non-combustible surface and then have the air gap. So the non-combustible surface is actually going to be a hardiebacker or a cement board. We're going to still select which material is going to work best, and then we're going to use an alkali tape, and then we're actually going to put some mud on that to make it look like it's drywall. So it's going to have a real smooth surface. What we ultimately have is we have a surface down below behind the stove that's going to have thin brick on it. So we're going to end up putting hardiebacker directly on top of metal studs, and then we're going to mud up and put this thin brick over the top of that. So that allows us down below to have 3 5/8 of actual air gap behind here. It's non-combustible because our studs are back all the way to this space right here. And then we've cut holes in the top of this. If you come over here, you can see that. There's holes that we've cut on the top of this. This is actually the track that we have for the metal studs. And then we cut a notch in here on each one of these bays. So what happens is once the heat hits this, goes through, and radiates into this space, it then travels up into here. Now what we've got, if you look at this, we have resilient channel that we've mounted to the wall here that's to the combustible surface, and this creates our 1-inch air gap here. So we have hardiebacker that runs all the way across here, and the hardiebacker comes out to the back of it, hits right where this gap is at. So now the air travels behind the hardiebacker in between the combustible surface and the face or the back of the hardiebacker with that gap that's created by the channel, and then that runs all the way up to the very top, up the wall, and then we're going to leave a couple gaps at the top for this heat to dissipate and come out at the top of the wall. So that allows us to have a thin brick look down below here at the bottom, and then it transitions to looking like hardiebacker, or actually like drywall because of the hardiebacker, and then that continues all the way up the wall. So we don't have this big, tall, massive amount of brick in this space. Keep it nice and simple, keeps the cost down, and it's a good solution that meets code, and you get that non-combustible surface with the hardiebacker, but also have the 1-inch air gap below, and you have a safe installation for your wood stove and your pipe as it goes up the top. The reason we popped this off the wall like this is because we wanted this to look like a full brick. So even though it's thin brick, this comes back out, the return on this thing is like 3 1/4 right on the inside, or from the outside it's 3 3/4. So if I put that on 1/2 inch right there, it looks like a full brick. Like a 1/2 inch gap here where the hardiebacker would be. This is a full brick going all the way back and returns into the drywall. It's a good look. Looks like I have a nice thick brick on this side. So that's why we did it like that. And this will get some type of a mantle on it, like a brick non-combustible mantle at the top. So that's the reason for actually popping this out. You can make this happen with 2 1/2 inch studs as well, if you don't have to fur out the wall for this extra inch. And that's why we lost that. This is actually nets out at about 2 1/2 inches. Or 2 5/8. Actually, it nets out at 3 is what that one ended up. 2 7/8 on that side. So that's why we went ahead and popped this thing out, because we wanted to make sure we had a good look to where it was like a full brick. All right, so in order to get the corners to where we had good nailing for our drywall corner bead, We put this on the actual first strip out of wood and not the metal. So we ripped down the material and then also planed this down to where it was 1 inch thick. So it matches up with our resilient channel. And you can see how we did that on the corners and all the edges here. And then we also did it out here on these studs because these do not have to have non-combustible space behind or an air gap behind them. So they're directly on combustible, the hardiebacker. We only need that non-combustible over here. So that's when we go to the resilient channel. So by putting this wood, we ended up with a lot better connection with our drywall and our hardiebacker here on the corner. So that was something for longevity purposes. That's why we did that. Another consideration when you're planning out for a wood stove is, does your wood stove have a blower on it? And if it does, you want to make sure you get an outlet behind your wood stove. And this is centered between the space here and the height of it. I like to try to keep them as low as I can so they're not up real high. So you can plug right in and you can't really see this. The other thing you want to look at is, what's the depth of my finished material here? So you want to look at, okay, I'm going to have like, say, 3/8 or 1/2 inch for my hardiebacker, 1/4 inch of mud, and then I'm gonna have my thin brick. So this one works out to where it's 1.25 inches. So we got 1.25 inch mud rings because we're using we use the MC cable in here. We have our 4-square boxes, but we went ahead and did this here. So this will flush out right here. And then you have your cover plate will go right on there just like that. So make sure you're getting the depth right on your boxes, or your mud rings or your boxes slid out far enough so you make sure you have a nice, good, flat surface and you don't have to put box extenders on later. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed looking at that with me and seeing how we kept the design in mind as well as a safe install for our wood stove and wood stove pipe in this house. If you'd like more information about building a custom home, an ADU, or doing a whole house remodel project, reach out to us at freemansconstruction.com. If you're needing help with your real estate needs, either buying or selling your home or land, you can visit our real estate website at freemansrealty.com. So thanks again for watching.